I said, "You were a kid. I thought you'd forget." Asterisk. The moment I heard her voice behind me, soft, steady, and strangely familiar, I froze. "You promised to marry me when I grew up." I turned, confused, and saw her standing there, the girl I used to know, now a woman I almost didn't recognize. 12 years had turned pigtails into a quiet confidence, scraped knees into determination, and childish dreams into something far deeper. I said, "You were a kid. I thought you'd forget." My voice cracked more than I wanted it to. But she didn't laugh. She didn't blush. She didn't look away. Instead, she stepped closer, eyes steady. "People forget things they don't care about. I never forgot you." And just like that, the past I'd buried came rushing back. The hook, a promise made in innocence. When I was 16, my world was small: school, a part-time job, and the tiny neighborhood where everyone knew everyone. She was 8, full of questions and mischief, always following me around like a bright little shadow. One day, after her parents had one of their usual fights and she showed up crying on our porch, I handed her a popsicle and told her the only thing I could think of to make her smile. "When you grow up, I'll marry you. Then no one will ever make you cry again." She giggled, pinky swore, and said, "Promise?" And like an idiot teenage boy who thought words didn't matter, I said, "Promise." She moved away a week later. And I assumed life, distance, time, reality, had erased me from her world. Apparently, it hadn't. The reunion, a twist of fate. Now she was here, standing in front of me in the community center where I volunteered on weekends. I was helping set up a fundraiser for kids from troubled homes, a project I'd thrown myself into after a rough breakup and a few years of drifting. "What are you doing here?" I finally managed. "I'm the new child psychologist they hired," she said gently. I asked around. "I found out you worked here." There was a pause, long, thick, impossible. "You looked for me?" I asked. She laughed softly. "No, I didn't look for you. I tried to forget you." Big difference. Then her smile faded. "But some people leave footprints that don't erase." The way she said it, honest, steady, mature, hit me harder than I expected. The realization, what she'd been through. Later, during lunch break, we sat on a bench outside. She told me everything I never knew. How her parents finally split. How she spent years moving between homes. How she studied psychology because she wanted to help kids who felt the way she once did, scared, unheard, unprotected. "I always remembered that day," she said quietly. "Not because of the promise, but because it was the first time someone made me feel safe." I stared at her, stunned. She continued, "That's why I wanted to work here. I heard what you do for these kids. I wanted to help too." It wasn't the girl I remembered. She'd grown into someone strong, compassionate, beautiful, not just on the outside, but in the way life had shaped her. And suddenly, I felt ashamed, not because I'd forgotten the promise, but because I'd never understood how much it meant. The emotional climax, kindness that comes back. A few weeks later, we worked together on a case involving a shy little boy named Liam whose mother was in rehab. One day, he hid behind me, scared to talk to anyone else. She knelt down, gentle but firm, and said, "It's okay. You're safe here." The same words I once told her. And when Liam finally reached out and held her hand, something inside me shifted. She wasn't here because of some childhood memory. She wasn't chasing a promise. She was living it, helping others find safety the way she once found it in a single moment of kindness. And I realized, some promises grow up with us. Even when we don't realize it. The ending, a new promise. One evening after the fundraiser, we walked to the parking lot in the soft glow of sunset. She looked up at me and whispered. I wasn't asking you to marry me now. I just wanted to know if you ever meant that promise at all. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of years, and the clarity of this moment. I meant it in the only way a 16-year-old kid could. But now, I'm older. And I'd like to make a new promise. She raised an eyebrow. Oh? And what's that? That I won't disappear again. That I won't make promises I don't intend to keep. And that, if you give me a chance, I'd really like to know you again. Her eyes softened. You're late, she whispered with a small smile. But I'll take it. We didn't kiss. We didn't declare love. We didn't rush anything. We just walked side by side, slow, steady, hopeful. Sometimes the universe doesn't give us the person we want at the time we expect. Sometimes it gives them back when we're finally ready to understand their worth. Final message. Kindness isn't a moment. Sometimes, it's the beginning of a story that comes back into your life when you need it most.